Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, this presentation, as I said, is going to be about shamanic healing. Okay, we're going to talk about how the shamans do it. And if you noticed in the previous live, when I was talking about spiritual healing, I did touch on shamanic healing. So let's get into it. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Oh, well, you can't share, but just like. Okay, so let me pull this up. Okay, what is shamanic healing? Let's get into it. And so, according to the Power Path, shamanic healing is a spiritual and medical practice based upon the belief that all healing includes a spiritual dimension. A shamanic practitioner is trained to recognize that all illnesses have a spiritual component and that everything is connected: the spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental. Therefore, if one of these systems is out of balance, the disharmony can be felt within the entire energetic field or web. The goal of a healing is to create balance within this web and create harmony where the spirit is suffering. A shamanic practitioner is trained to step into the unseen world and locate the cause of the disconnection from spirit. Now, let me tell you about this. You see, I had this holistic doctor who's a very good friend of mine. About maybe 6 months ago, I went to see her because I like to go to her for acupuncture. And I like to go to her, just to meditate, to meditate together and things like that. But she also is very good at opening up your energy fields and unblocking your chakras and bringing them into balance. It's very important to have balanced chakras. You see, often when we have illnesses or we're having low vibrational feelings of worry and stress, our chakras are not aligned. And often the energy is blocked. And the thing is, when she does acupuncture, she can often tell, because when she sticks the needles in, there may be just a little drop of blood. Now, mind you, it doesn't hurt. I thought acupuncture was going to be painful, but it absolutely wasn't. It's just like a little, not even like a pinch, you barely feel it. But when these chakras are blocked, sometimes there may be a little blood flow, just a little bit, okay? And so consider a shamanic healing when there are issues of depression, stagnancy, and apathy in habits, PTSD, or triggering of past events that you don't necessarily know the root cause of. These are just a few examples of blocked energies that a shamanic healing could address. Practitioners and their training vary greatly, and some specialize in soul retrieval, cord cutting, drum journeying, extraction, etc. In a shamanic healing, the practitioner will often use certain tools to assist in moving the unwanted or blocked energy. Depending on the tradition, some tools may include feathers, mesas, sacred songs, or certain herbal or plant medicines, to name a few. And sometimes they use, drums, as you're lying there and meditating, where they're trying to unblock the chakras and things like that, and trying to bring your energy into harmony. That they'll sometimes play the drums or the Tibetan bong. Healings are performed with the understanding that it's not actually the practitioner that is doing the healing work, but Great Spirit. The practitioner is simply a qualified, skilled, and experienced tool who has developed a long-term relationship with the invisible world, i.e., the spiritual realm. A spirit can now work through the practitioner or facilitate the healing. And this is why often shamans will go into a trance, because they're communing with their spirit guides sometimes the Most High. They're channeling the Most High. Now, the participation of the client is imperative, as intention plays an enormous role in the efficacy of a shamanic healing. If a patient refuses to disengage from his suffering, then a shamanic healer can be of little service. But if one is willing, a shamanic healing can engage and catalyze the spiritual and self healing capacities of the body that are often overlooked or pushed aside by traditional therapies in modern medicine. Now, mind you, I'm not telling you not to go to your regular doctors or get regular medical advice and attention. But what I'm saying is that these shamans, these shamanic healings, they're going to be doing things a little bit differently. What do shamans heal? Well, shamans are said to treat ailments and illnesses by mending the soul. Alleviating traumas affecting the soul or spirit are believed to restore the physical body of the individual to balance and wholeness. And here you see in this picture, this woman is having a shamanic healing performed on her, and you can see the stones and crystals that are lying there. You see the smoke. That is likely sage that she's burning. And I told you all months ago how I had a dream last year sometime where the shaman ancestors came to me and they did a smudging ritual on me. Now, shamans work in voluntary ecstatic trance states, which alter their consciousness to travel to the realms of the invisible worlds. You see, their ability to gain information and make changes in the invisible realms is dependent upon the working relationships they develop with the spirits there. In this sense, shamanism is a relationship based practice of making changes in invisible realms to impact healing of individuals or communities in the realm of the ordinary reality. And you see, this is the thing. When they go into these other realms of existence, the spiritual realm, they will see their own ancestors who were healers. They may commune with these spirits, or they may see their spirit guides, like I told you. Sometimes the Most High will give them downloads and tell them what to do and how to, perform the process. Shamanistic perspective on disease. Now, the perspective on individual disease is different in shamanism than in the conventional medical view. In a shamanistic view, the first thing is similar symptoms or diseases do not stem from the same underlying root energetic problem. The second thing is community disharmony often manifests in individual illnesses. And this is why they have the word disease, because that word literally means dis-ease, like your body, your mind, your spirit, mentally, you're not at ease. And this brings on illness. Any illness may have a significant underlying spiritual or energetic issue, regardless of the form in which that illness manifests, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or relational. Now, certain illnesses are more likely to have a spiritual component that may respond to shamanic healing techniques. These include psychological diagnoses like depression, anxiety, ADD or ADHD, autism, and addictions. Illnesses that manifest physically may still have significant spiritual underpinnings. This is especially true for illnesses that have atypical or premature presentations, such as a degenerative illness that normally occurs in elder years, occurring in a young adult. So, if you have a young person that's exhibiting some type of symptoms of an illness that usually we would see later on down the line, like, for example, the older you get, you start to not have as good a memory as you had when you were younger. But when you see a young person who's always absent-minded and forgetful, that's something that needs to be addressed. That could be a degenerative illness. Now, shamanistic healing. Shamanic healing work requires two distinct phases. The first one is the accurate diagnosis of the seen and unseen energies at the root of the problem. They have to get to the root of it, find out what's causing it in the first place. Is it something mental? Is it some type of thing that you were traumatized, some type of event that you're holding on to that's causing you stress and grief, or some type of suffrage that makes you, become sick, become ill? Because you do know that stress causes illness. Okay, stress can cause heart attacks. It can cause anxiety. It can cause people to have strokes, high blood pressure, all sorts of illnesses. Now, the second thing is carrying out the specific choreography of energies needed to resolve the problem. The shaman may serve by removing energies that are inappropriately present, or by simply returning energies that have been lost. This includes soul recovery, to accomplish healing via the return of lost parts of the soul. That goes back to what I said on the previous live. Sometimes we get lost in ourselves. Sometimes we lose ourselves because we get caught up with other people and their problems. We're too focused on other people and pleasing them, the people around us. It's fine to want to please the people around you, but you can't please everybody else all the time and then never please yourself. Sometimes you have to put in the work to do self-reflection. Sometimes you have to put yourself under your own management and worry about your spirituality, your spiritual health, and make sure that is up to par. Because if not, then you're not going to do any good for anyone else on down the line, because you start to fall apart. You start to have all these myriads of issues. You may become depressed, angry, because you feel like you're being used when everyone's pushing and pulling on you. You may be dealing with energy vampires that are always sucking the life out of you. They always want to call you and tell you their problems, never care about yours. And then you find yourself always trying to be a fix-it for everyone else's issues, but just simply negating your own issues. And that's very problematic to your spiritual work. So when performing a healing ritual, shamans often go into such trance, into a trance-like state, where they leave their body and travel to a dimension where they meet a teacher or a guide. Now, here they ask for or are given guidance and direction about the nature of the illness that they're trying to cure. A shaman may use herbs and other devices in his or her healing ceremonies, but these have come from the teaching the shaman has received either in the out of body experience or from later training from another shaman. In contrast, other traditional healers do not typically travel outside of their body. They also don't typically go into trances. Pay attention. Okay? So these are just a few of the techniques that shamanic healers will use. So thank you, Juju. Juju says gems. So I just wanted to speak with you all about that because, some of the things that they do, these shamanic healers, some of them you can practice yourself. You can practice burning your sage, working with crystals. And this is something that I'm going to be doing for those of you who have memberships. I'm going to be talking about at some point this month, before the month's end, I'm going to be talking about stones and crystals. I've talked about it before, but I'm going to tell you specific stones and crystals that work for different types of healing, different things. We'll get into that. As a matter of fact, what I will likely do is I'm supposed to give a spiritual class to those with a higher membership, the higher frequency membership. I'm supposed to give a spiritual class. So I'm going to do that next week. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the different types of stones and how they can heal and what you can use them for and different things like that. Okay, so that's what we'll get into. All right, Dr. Sabi popped into my mind how he healed himself from mental and physical illness. Yes, absolutely. Queen, someone tried to tell me sage was bad. I looked at them like, child, let me tell you something, Juju. If whoever told you that likely has demons. Likely has demons. Sage is very good. Tell them to do the research. And speaking of sage, let me say this. I was burning sage once in my home, and I burn sage every day. But I was burning sage one time, and this lady came to my house. She was collecting food non-perishable food items for the homeless or the hungry, right? And I had talked to her the day before and told her I was going to have some things that she could come and pick up. And so when she came to pick these things up, I just so happened to be burning sage. And when she walked in, she immediately started choking and coughing, and she was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, what is that you're burning? It's choking me." And I said, "That's sage." And she said, "Well, can you please put it out?" And I said, "No, beloved, I'm not going to put it out." I said, "Maybe you should just step outside on the front porch and I'll bring the goods to you." And so I asked her to step outside. I wasn't going to put out my sage because what it told me by the fact that as soon as she walked in, she was immediately repulsed by the sage. Pay attention. So it let me know that she more likely than not has some demonic energy, malevolent spirits or something attached to her that, don't like the sage. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Because sage is used to drive out demons, and this is just the fact. People who perform priests, who perform exorcisms, they use sage. Many of them use sage, okay, to cleanse the environment of as much negativity as they can before they start the exorcism. Okay. So yes, my fan page says I love the smell of sage. I do too. I do too. And here's the thing that's important: when you are burning sage to get rid of negative energy in your environment, it's always best to open a window or a door so that the negative energy is dispelled. You see, if you don't, you could have demons running around in the place with you, and then you burning sage, and all the demons are doing is running from one corner to the next trying to hide from the sage. But when the sage burns out, they're still there. So you want to open a window or a door to make sure that the negative energy has an exit. Okay. So Juju said, and Polo Santos. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, beloved. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. This was brief. I just wanted to give you all that information because I thought it was conducive with the prior presentation that I did. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed that. And I want to thank you all for being members. Thank you all for supporting me and this channel, for purchasing your memberships. I'm going to continue to give you all, make your money's worth. That's what I want to do. I want to make sure you get your money's worth. And I appreciate you all for the support. So I'm going to keep putting out this information and doing special things that are for members only. And for those of you who have the higher packages where you get the free ebooks monthly, we're going to continue to do those. And you have a spiritual class coming up. All right. And so with that all being said, you're all welcome. I see a lot of thank yous in the chat. You're all welcome. And thank you. Okay. So with that all being said, beloveds, I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.